Hey y'all, just a quick announcement that our merch pre-orders are currently open until November 12th. This will be the last pre-order this year. We have several designs that have been brought back. I'll put a link down below. Let's watch this vlog. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Roots Refuge Farm. I'm in my kitchen. We're about to head outside. We are hosting a workshop today, and I just got done with my contribution. On a butchering workshop, Jeremiah and the guys typically do the hands-on teaching. I'll go out there, but a lot of times I'm doing things like making video, creating content. So my responsibility whenever we do workshops together is I do the food. I cook, I feed everybody. I am in my kitchen. I have made this monster roaster full of chili. This is over 20 pounds of chili. That's wild. I don't know. I may have ended up making too much food for this, but my kids will be eating all of this for dinner tonight as well, because after a long day like this, I definitely don't really feel like cooking dinner. This is a big pot of chicken and rice soup. That's a 14-quart pot, so I don't know pounds wise how much that is. And this is a big, massive pot of hot chocolate. I've got coffee going. We have sweet tea. We're not coming in to do this quite yet. Everybody's outside. Feeding a crowd of people is like, okay, so like when you work out, you have like your PR, which is like the max weight that you can lift. And a lot of times you can't do it like over and over again, obviously, like lesser weights. So when I feed like 40 or 50 people in a day, it's like my PR. Like, I love it. It makes me feel so good. So I always like to put a disclaimer if I'm going to be handling anything with processing animals, because I know for a lot of people they are not comfortable with that kind of content. For us, we raise our own meat. We process most of that meat at home. We still do sometimes use outside processing whenever we need to for the sake of time, but that's becoming less and less the more we get our infrastructure in place. For us, raising our meat at home is the most ethical way, and the way that we have the most peace about being meat eaters, which our bodies have thrived on a meat heavy diet, which means that we raise a lot of meat. And I love the fact that my animals here, one, I know what went into them. I know how they were treated. I know that they've had beautiful lives where they were honored and respected. And I know that even on butchering day, I think it's Joel Salatin that says they have one bad day, or maybe Justin said that, I'm not sure. But our animals do, they have one bad day. And even that is very brief. Their lives are not filled with fear. They're not filled with torment. They live very happy lives, and I appreciate that. If I'm going to be a meat eater, I want to make sure nothing is living in misery for that to happen. So we're processing today. We're processing our Cornish cross chickens, and we have some friends that have a church family down in Covington, Georgia, that we've known for a lot of years. Before we even moved out here, we knew them, and we called them, I don't know, 8 weeks ago or so, when these birds were just really kind of hitting the ground. We'd just gotten them out of the brooder. And Jeremiah called Mark, our friend, and said, hey, we have this butchering class. It's going to be around this time. Would you like to bring some of your people? Because we knew they had a lot of people that were interested in learning homesteading. And they turned out. They brought a great group. They're out here. Everybody's getting their hands on the process and really learning. And I'm going to take you guys out there and kind of show you a little bit of our process in processing birds. So when we butcher during the week, like we currently are, a lot of times I keep my kids home from school. I do think that this is vital information, and I want my children to have this in their education, in their life. You want me to take those, Jackie? You got it? No, I'm good. Jackson today, I really needed to stay home because I didn't have Michaela here today, and I needed help. So Jackie's here. Hey, baby. Hi. He is currently catching chickens. He's been running all my errands this morning, helping me get the food going. So I'm not going to actually show the act of butchering because I'll get demonetized. We use these kill cones, which means it allows us to hang the birds upside down. And then it's very quick and easy. They bleed out. We do collect the blood, we collect the feathers, we collect all parts of the animal so that nothing is wasted. The blood and the feathers go into our compost bins, or into our compost piles. We don't have bins, we have massive piles. And that, of course, then goes into feeding the soil, feeding the gardens, creating the vegetables. We really try to honor the lives that are given for our sustenance by not wasting any of it. So we have this set up right here. All right, so here we have the scalder, which we dip the birds in. This holds them by the legs. Now I showed a little bit of our turkey process, which turkeys are a lot harder to process than chickens. When we process turkeys, I think it took us a few hours just with a handful of people to do. I think we did 13. Now we're doing 100 chickens today. Of course, we have a lot more hands on it, but it's going to go a lot faster. Just our group, Jeremiah and I, Wes and Will, and then Joe, we could probably do these 100 birds in maybe like 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours with the pluckers. So we have pluckers, we have 2 pluckers here. All of our butchering supplies came from McMurray Hatchery. One of the things that we're really hoping to do when we open the Carolina Homestead Exchange is offer this kind of equipment for rent. This is the biggest investment when it comes to raising meat, is this equipment. You can do it without it, it's just a lot harder. It was really cold this morning, but now it's warming up, especially in the sun. So, Destiny, look at her, she's doing it. Look at you.
I did this one, start to finish.
Like a real farm girl.
Okay, am I clear? Okay, is that right?
What do you think, Sowards?
Push out. Go ahead, girl. Do your thing.
Congratulations.
Can I do another one? You can.
Let's go in the good bucket.
The good bucket down on the table. Ben, you did that. You did the whole process on that chicken. It ain't gotten. That's wonderful. Good job. All right, so here we're cleaning a gizzard here. Which you open up, it has all these rocks in it and all this yucky stuff, which this is like essentially how chickens digest. They eat rocks and then it works in their gizzard like teeth. So you got to cut it open and then rinse that out if you want to keep the gizzards for eating.
A hose pipe? Yeah.
Do you like frying gizzards, Will?
Mm-hmm. My dad likes them. I haven't tried them in like 10 years, so I need to try them again and make sure I just let my kid bring. They're really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is understandable considering what they are.
Mm-hmm. Very tough texture.
Nice clean gizzard. So here's my friend Josephina. She's the only one up in this group that didn't come from our friend's church. So your interview, it's time while you work on a chicken. So actually you posted on Facebook saying, hey, does anyone know of any processing classes coming up? And so I sent her a message and was like, hey, actually, I think you posted on my group, didn't you? Yeah, and I saw it because I went to approve the post and I just messaged her and said, hey, if you want to come Wednesday, we're actually butchering.
Yep.
So here she is. How far is the drive for you? It's like 2 hours?
2 hours, yeah, so it's not far at all.
So she has a channel called Soil and Saison, where she shares your journey into homesteading, I guess you could say. You're definitely sharing that, as well as her excellent cooking, which she brought me some to sample. I've had some before. She's a fantastic cook. I actually had a dream about you the other day. I had a dream that I gave you pork and you made sausage with it, and then you cooked me food, and I was telling you this is the best food I've ever cooked.
Well, I ate some of my sausage.
Yes. So do you feel confident today in the skill that you've learned?
Yeah, like really, this is my 10th one.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I feel really good, confident. I'm so grateful for this opportunity because I was so scared to do it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was all just me being in my head.
Yeah.
It's so much easier than you would think that it is.
Well, I think having a person that can teach you hands-on makes all the difference.
Yes,
because
it really
is
does.
hands-on experience with someone looking over your shoulder saying, yes, that's right, no, that's not right. It does build confidence.
I've watched so many videos, but it's not the same as when you just put your hands into it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. And thank you for the best salsa I've ever had in my life. Ben's back over here at it. Ben, how many chickens have you done today?
This is like my 8th, I think.
Your 8th. Man, you're at it, boy. Good job.
He's a pro.
So we've got a group over here. that are doing a task they offered to help with. What do y'all think about pea shelling?
So fun.
Isn't it so relaxing?
It's so satisfying.
I know it is. Man, y'all are getting it done. Thank you so much. It's awesome. What do y'all see?
Ants.
Ants.
Do not like them.
You don't like them? They're not hurting much. I'm not too worried about it here. You know, the frost is coming next week. It's gonna kill the garden. Dang, that's right. Ben, you're doing awesome, man. Good job. Come here, Gabe. Hey, baby angel, you want a treat? Come on. You want a treat? Good boy. Wes raises American Brez chickens, which are a more sustainable breed. And I get asked about them a lot because I know that a couple of big YouTubers raise them. We raise Cornish crosses. They're not sustainable. You have to buy new chicks every year. They don't breed because they're bred to be so large. They are economical. The reason why we raise them is because they are the most affordable chicken to raise at home, because these birds that we're butchering today, many of them are dressing out around 5 pounds, but a lot of them are dressing out around 8 pounds. We have a lot of kids, and so having some 8-pound birds means I can cook 1 bird for dinner instead of 2. And also we only put 8 to 10 weeks into these, which means less feed, because less time, it means less work that goes into them. But they're not sustainable. I have to get new chicks every year. That's not a problem right now, but the idea of a sustainable breed of chicken is that you can continue breeding them and continue generationally having new birds. So I texted Wes the other day because he raises the Brez. He's fairly new into it. He's been doing it for the last, I think, I have to ask him, maybe like 1.5 years or so. And I said, hey, would you mind selling me a Brez? Because I would like to try them side by side. Because, you know, sometimes we may choose the thing that is not the cheapest or the fastest or the easiest because it's a lot better. And I was just curious to try them. So he brought me 1 bird since we were going ahead and processing today, and that's what he just has. That's actually the last bird we're going to be doing today. We've got it about done. So what are you doing with these ice chests?
This is our white vinegar ice bath for 24 hours.
Why?
Rigor mortis. It breaks it down, makes everything pliable, and actually keeps the meat moist whenever you cook it later.
So we're going to bag these tomorrow around this time?
Yes.
Yeah. So how much white vinegar do you put in these coolers?
I always go with my heart. I just kind of pour it until I feel like we're good.
But it's probably a cup or 2.
So for all these coolers, we have 4 gallons out here, but we've only used 2.
Okay, so yeah, so it's probably a cup or 2 per.
Probably 2 at least.
Per big cooler, about 2 cups. Okay, with ice. And we do the ice baths. If you had a massive cooler, you could use that, but we don't. So we do ice baths, and the vinegar's in here with the ice. We just go to one of those ice kiosks. We have those here in the South. I learned that a lot of places don't have that. The last time I shared a butchering video, where we get to go take a cooler and fill it up. It's like a few bucks. So obviously this might not be the most economical choice if you didn't have access to cheap ice, but we do. So with having this ice, putting vinegar in it, we just buy cheap white vinegar. We typically go to the restaurant store for that because we're going through so much of it. And then we put, can you put those feet back in there, Will? Thank you. And then we put these birds on ice for 24 hours. All right, so Wes has the Brez plucked. So this is a rooster. I actually don't know if this is a rooster.
I don't either.
I would assume that this is probably a hen comparing to the other birds that we've had.
Maybe a rooster down there.
Yeah, that one looks a lot bigger. So yeah, definitely notably different as far as like the amount of breast meat. How old is this bird?
About 16 weeks.
16 weeks, and these are about, I think, 9 or 10. Okay, 10. So we're definitely seeing a difference in the amount of tissue. Now, what do you think about the taste of the Brez, Wes? I say Wes.
Wes.
Wes. Our Australian Siri pronounces Wes as Wes Green, so I always call him that. The Brez.
And Wes.
Wes.
The meat is darker, especially in the quarters.
Yeah.
And I prefer dark meat.
Yeah.
And I like I prefer the taste over the Cornish cross.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people may not.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to trying this guy. I think we can probably tell them apart.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. Should we leave the feet on to make sure? I should be able to tell him apart. He's got dark skin. All right. Well, thank you. I'm excited to do a side-by-side like cook and taste comparison. They definitely look different.
Sure. They almost
Like you
look
can
like a rubber chicken.
You definitely, well, you see the darkness in this. The skin's darker, which of course we can see that on the feet because this has the blue feet.
Yeah.
But compared to the Cornish cross, I definitely see a difference in color. He is an older bird.
Yeah.
And then the difference in the volume of the meat, which we knew that. In any heritage breed, you're not going to have the same volume as a Cornish cross, but
Well, I mean, you got to take
if the flavor's greater, it's an interesting prospect.
and they're sustainable.
Yeah, and being sustainable, which is definitely a big benefit. I am recording. And say hi. So yeah, Wes just said these are known as the red, white, and blue chicken because the red comb, white feathers, and the blue feet. So
It's getting cloudy.
I'm excited to try it. It is the following day after our butchering class. Yesterday was a really big success. Everyone left feeling definitely more equipped, and it's always a joy for us to be able to host people. And then, of course, we get the great benefit of the work is a little faster, having the extra hands. One of the big things when it comes down to processing days when you do that on farm is it really offers an opportunity to bring community together. And I've heard a lot of stories from people sharing about how families go in together to raise animals and then process them together. That it really has brought people back to that whole community sufficiency mindset. And even several of the families that were here yesterday were talking about going in together to buy the equipment to kind of help spread the cost out a little bit amongst many families. And I just think it's really cool whenever you do stuff like that as a group. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I bless you. Until next time.